A very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Brother Abdul Qawi. Welcome to our webinar. Uh, how are you today, sir?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Thank you very much, brother. Alhamdulillah, everything is going well, and hope you and all the colleagues there, you all happy and healthy as well.
Inshallah. Thank you, brother. By the way, what time is it in Melbourne? You are located in Melbourne right now, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's 12:50,
Ah,
57. Yeah, it's almost one.
it's almost one. Means that you have
Yeah.
already got your lunch, right? You get energy.
No, not yet. Maybe
Uh,
after we
Yeah, I'd like to also say welcome to our Dean, the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training of Education, Ibu
finish.
Dr. Anda Hajah Syamsuyurnita, M.Pd. She's now with us, brother.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Ibu, apa
Ah,
suara kami terdengar? Can you hear our voice, Ibu?
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
okay. Yeah, of course.
mm.
Yeah, it's been
Happy
long
to see
time not
your face after
seeing
a
you,
long time.
brother. Yeah. Okay, you become more handsome.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Because maybe your eyes like see beautifully.
Thank you, brother. So, Ibu Dekan and Mr. Abdul, kita nanti akan mulai. We are going to start our webinar on time. Hopefully we can do it. Kita bisa mulai on time acara kita pada pagi hari ini. While we were waiting for other participant, I would like to share with you a little bit video related to our university, so that we can, share the story related to our university.
Beautiful.
Ya.
All right. So, I think this is time that we can start our webinar today. Yep. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Hello,
Waalaikumsalam
everyone.
warahmatullahi
Yeah,
wabarakatuh.
sorry for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable, the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training of Education, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, who is coming with us now, Dr. Randa Hajah Syamsuyurnita, M.Pd, the Honorable, the Vice Dean of for the Academic and Curriculum Affairs, Ibu Dr. Hajah Dewi Kusuma Nasution, M.Hum, the Honorable, the Vice Dean 3, related to Student Affairs and Alumni, Mr. Dr. Mandra Saragi, M.Hum, the Honorable, the Head of English Education Study Program, Dr. Pirman Ginting, S.Pd, M.Hum, now currently is in the airport, traveling to Vietnam for attending the international conference related to TESOL. And our distinguished speaker, Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori, Ph.D. candidate, Sessional academic at Monash University, Australia. And distinguished lecturers, students, and all participants joining us today from different universities, and particularly from our university. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all today in today's international webinar organized by English Education Study Program, Faculty of Teacher Training Education, Muhammadiyah, Sumatera Utara. Today's webinar entitled Reimagining Academic Research in Changing Worlds, Navigating the Publication Journey. We are very pleased to have you all with us today, and we hope this session will provide valuable insight and inspiration for our academic and, of course, research journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, to begin our webinar, let us start with a recitation of Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before we proceed to the main program, we would like to have a documentation or photo session. So we kindly invite you to turn on your camera for a moment and please stay on the Zoom screen for a moment. So we are going to take some photos for our memory ya. Bapak Ibu, kami undang sebentar saja untuk menghidupkan kamera. Kita bisa untuk ambil sesi foto sebagai documentation kegiatan kita pada pagi hari ini. Ya, senyum, boleh berikan senyum terbaik. Give best smile. 3, 2, 1, go. Ya, one more. Wait for a minute. Yeah, I'm still saving the data now. Okay, so one more time, please open your camera and give best your smile. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Let me save the data first. Okay, so, all right, where is it? Where did I put the data? Here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to welcoming remarks. It is a great honor to invite the head of English Education First Study Program, Dr. Pirman Ginting, S.Pd, M.Hum, to deliver his welcoming remarks. Okay, Sir Pirman, are you still here? Even though you are in airport now, I think you can still deliver your welcoming remark, right? So the floor is yours, sir. Sir Pirman? Oh, I think he's busy. He's busy on iPod. All right, so I think we'll start from the dean first. While we're waiting, I'm contacting him right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, before Sir Pirman would like to proceed to the opening remarks and official opening of today's webinar. It is great honor to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Teachers Training and Education, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, Dr. Randa Hajah Syamsuyurnita, M.Pd, to deliver her opening remarks. And of course, officially open today's webinar. Jadi kami mengundang Ibu Dekan untuk memberikan kata sambutan sekaligus nanti membuka kegiatan kita hari ini secara resmi. nanti jika Pak Pirman sudah berada di Zoom, sudah aktif, kami minta izin Ibu akan melanjutkan opening remarks-nya kepada Pak Pirman setelah Ibu. Okay, the floor is yours. Time is yours, Ibu.
Hello, sorry, selamat Usni.
Oh, you are here.
Yeah, sorry, but I
Okay.
think something wrong happened to my Zoom, so the voice is not audible.
Okay, it's again, sir, it's honor to invite you to give your welcoming remarks. Time is yours, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Pak Selamat Usni. Well, I'm sorry for being not able to open my video camera because I'm in the condition that makes me unable to open the video camera. Sorry for that. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for joining our today's webinar. And it's a very a great event that we can elevate our insights about what we are going to discuss today. But before that, I would like to express our honor to the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, Dr. Hajjah Syamsuyurnita M.Pd, the Vice Dean of the Academic Affairs, Ibu Dr. Hajjah Dewi Kusuma Nasution M.Hum, the Vice Dean of the Students and Alumni Affairs, Dr. Mandra Saragi S.Pd M.Hum, and also Bapak Selamat Husni Hasiduan as the Secretary of the Programs. And of course, I would like to express our distinction to our lecturers, our dear students, and all respected participants that has joined this webinar from different places, of course. And most importantly, our distinguished speaker, Mr. Abdul Qawi. Thank you very much for being with us today, sir, and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us, our academic communities. Well, first of all, let us express our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his blessing and guidance, which have enabled us to gather today in this international webinar. It is a great pleasure and honor for us, especially for me, as the head of the English Language Education Department, to welcome all of you to this important academic event. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of our today's webinar is Reimagining Academic Research in a Changing World. Navigating the publication journey is highly relevant to the current development of higher education. As we are living in a rapidly changing academic world, research is no longer conducted only to fulfill academic requirements, actually, but it has become important means of contributing to knowledge, responding the social challenges, improving educational practices, and of course, creating meaningful change in societies. At the same time, the landscapes of academic publishing is also changing. Researchers are expected not only to produce high quality research, but also to understand how to communicate their findings effectively, select appropriate journals, respond to reviewers, maintain research integrity, and navigate an increasingly competitive international publication environment. For students and lecturers in English language education in our department, these challenges also present a great opportunity as educators and researchers in the field of language education. We have the responsibility to continuously develop our research capacity and contribute our perspectives to the international academic community. Therefore, I believe that today's webinar is not only an opportunity to listen to a distinguished speaker, our distinguished speaker, more necessarily, it is an opportunity for us to rethink how we conduct research, how we communicate knowledge, and how we position our academic work in the global research communities. Dear lecturers and students, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, I would like to encourage all participants to take full advantage of this opportunity So please listen actively, take notes and ask questions, and engage in meaningful discussion. I hope that after this webinar, we will not only understand more about the publication process, but also become more confident and motivated to begin and strengthen our own research and publication journey. Remember that publishing internationally is not simply about having an article accepted by a journal, but it is about contributing something meaningful to the global conversation in our field, that is English language education. Sincerely hope that today's session will inspire our lecturers and students to become more productive, more confident, and more international oriented researchers, as we are now inviting an international speaker to share knowledge, especially in a trend in a research, of course. Once again, on the behalf of the English Language Education Department, I would like to express our highest appreciations to Mr. Abdul Qawi for accepting our invitations to be the speaker in our great webinar today, and also for sharing your expertise with us. And I would also like to thank the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, along with the vice deans, lecturers, and also the committees, especially the secretary of the department, Pak Selamat Husni, for your support and participation in making this international webinar possible. May this webinar bring new knowledge, new perspectives, new collaboration, and most importantly, new inspirations for our academic and research journey. Finally, I wish everyone a productive and inspiring session. May today's discussion open new doors for us to contribute to the advancements of education and knowledge at both the national and international levels. With that, I'm pleased to welcome you all to the international webinar with the title Reimagining Academic Research in a Changing World, Navigating the Publication Journey. Thank you very much for your attention, and once again, enjoy the webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hand it over to Pak Selamat Husni. Thank you, Pak Selamat Husni.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for the warm welcome and inspiring remarks, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the opening remarks and official opening of today's international webinar. It is a great honor to invite our Dean, the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Education, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, Ibu Dr. Hajah Syamsuyurnita, to deliver her opening remarks and officially open today's webinar. Kepada Ibu, time is yours.
Ya, thank you Pak Selamat Husni. Bisa dengar suara kan Pak?
Bisa, Bu.
Bisa, baik.
Bisa, Bu.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Pertama dan utama sekali, tidak bosan-bosannya kita senantiasa mengucapkan puji dan syukur kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Di pagi hari ini kita masih bisa menyempatkan waktu bersilaturahmi terutama di ruang virtual ini dan rangka webinar internasional. Selanjutnya juga selawat biring salam tidak lupa kita sampaikan kepada Nabi kita Muhammad Shallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sebagai uswatun hasanah bagi kita semua. Pak Husni, izin saya menggunakan bahasa Indonesia, mungkin nanti diterjemahkan saja untuk narasumber kita. Yang saya hormati Wakil Dekan Bidang Akademik, kalau belum bergabung mungkin proses bergabung, Ibu Dr. Dewi Kusuma Nasution, S.Pd, M.Hum, Wakil Dekan Bidang Kemahasiswaan dan Alumni, Bapak Dr. Mandra Saragi, S.Pd M.Hum, Pimpinan Program Studi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris, Bapak Dr. Pirman Ginting, S.Pd M.Hum, Bapak Selamat Husni, S.Pd M.Hum Ph.D, serta yang kami muliakan, yang kami banggakan narasumber, yaitu Bapak Abdul Qawi Noori, kandidat Ph.D dari Monash University Australia. Selamat datang Pak Abdul Qawi di Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, walaupun virtual. Serta yang saya hormati, yang saya banggakan, peserta atau partisipan dari webinar ini, baik dari unsur dosen Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara maupun dari dosen perguruan tinggi lainnya, serta mahasiswa yang berhadir pada hari ini. Tentu pertama sekali saya atas nama pimpinan Fakultas Keguruan Pendidikan mengucapkan apresiasi yang setingginya kepada program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris Pak Pirman dan Pak Selamat Husni karena telah menyelenggarakan kegiatan webinar ini. Sepengamatan kami di Fakultas Keguruan Pendidikan, khusus Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris ini yang sangat aktif menyelenggarakan webinar dan workshop. Untuk itu kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris dan tingkatkan ini untuk kedepannya. Tentu saja topik yang kita bahas ini sangat menarik, yaitu bagaimana mengubah penelitian menjadi artikel publikasi. Nah, saya katakan topik ini menarik dan sangat bermanfaat juga bagi kita, karena bagaimanapun kita mampu menyesuaikan penelitian akademik ini dengan perkembangan dunia saat ini, termasuk pemanfaatan teknologi AI dan yang lainnya, serta bagaimana kita membawa hasil penelitian kita nanti hingga menjadi artikel yang dipublikasikan. Dan tentu saja hal ini sangat bermanfaat bagi kita sebagai dosen, terutama juga gitu juga bagi mahasiswa. Nah, selain itu, kegiatan ini adalah bagian dari upaya program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris untuk memperluas jejaring sosial akademik di dunia internasional, terutama kepada narasumber kita pada hari ini yang sudah berbagi informasi kepada kita. Nah, selain tadi untuk meningkat dan memperluaskan jejaring akademik internasional, tentu juga Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris berusaha meningkatkan kapasitas penelitian dari dosen maupun mahasiswa dari PKM mahasiswa dalam memperkuat budaya publikasi ilmiah di perguruan tinggi. Nah, karena itu kami ucapkan beribuan terima kasih ke Prodi Bahasa Inggris. Nah, mudah-mudahan ini akan membawa manfaat bagi Prodi sendiri, bagi fakultas dan universitas, serta terutama untuk dosen masing-masing. Karena itu kami berharap kepada Bapak Ibu, dosen dan mahasiswa yang mengikuti webinar hari ini untuk mengikuti dengan baik sampai selesai. Tentu nanti akan banyak manfaatnya kepada kita semua. Kepada narasumber, Bapak Dr. Bapak Abdul Qawi Noori, kandidat Ph.D, kami ucapkan terima kasih yang sudi berbagi ilmu kepada kami Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara. Kalau saat ini kita masih bertemu dalam ruang virtual, mudah-mudahan suatu saat nanti Bapak Abdul Qawi Noori Ph.D, kandidat Ph.D akan bisa ke Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara langsung ya melihat kampus kita dan memberikan ilmu pengetahuannya kepada kita semua. Demikian saja kata sambutan dari saya selaku pimpinan Fakultas Keguruan Pendidikan. Semoga webinar ini berjalan lancar. Mari kita buka dengan mengucapkan basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Demikian saja sambutan dari saya selaku pimpinan Fakultas Keguruan Pendidikan. Mungkin Pak Husni bisa mentranslatekannya sedikit. Ya, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your inspiring remarks and officially opening our today's international webinar. But let me translate a little bit the things that the dean already explained or stated. So the dean welcome you, Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori, to our university for this time via virtual, but she expect and hope you can visit our university, our campus on site in the near future. And inshallah, and today's webinar, according to her, the topic is so interesting and valuable for all the participants, including teachers and participants and students, because we need to be able to navigate the current research, including the existence of AI and how we can publish it in higher reputable journal. And of course, it's beneficial for educators and students. So she said, thank you very much for you because you are willing to share your knowledge and insight to all of us. So she expects that the participant can actively participate in this webinar. So that's it. So thank you again, Ibu Dr. Anda Haja Syamsuyurnita, for your welcoming remarks. So ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at the main session of today's webinar. It is my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker. Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori is a PhD candidate and sessional academic at Monash University in Australia. Today, he will share his insight and experience on the important topic for academic researcher and student. So the topic he will talk about reimagining academic research in changing worlds, navigating the publication journey. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished speaker, Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori. Mr. Time is yours.
Yeah, sorry, just give me a second. First of all, I should say thank you to the distinguished dean for the opening remarks and the words. Here, I have no words to say thank you, and it means a lot. So, before I start, I just want to confirm if our beautiful participants, if they speak some English, or because if I speak in English, any advice, any expectations from the audience, or Brother Husni, if you want yeah,
Halo, Assalamualaikum,
advise
Bang.
me to speak slower, or
Please go on, brother. Yeah, that's okay.
okay, that's great. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you see my slides now?
Yeah, we can see your slide.
Okay. Just give me a second to check in my mobile as well. Yeah. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, wa qul rabbi zidni ilma, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining here in our webinar today. It's my absolute pleasure to talk about academic publishing today and share my research. And yeah, unfortunately, I do know some of the names of the academics and the colleagues here. I just want to thank everyone from the students, colleagues, academics, everyone joining here today, the dean of the faculty, the vice, the head of the department, Brother Husni, and everyone. And also, it's an absolute honor to connect with you here through Zoom today. And we live in an era of incredible transformation where everything is changing, and technology most of the time changing much. And this time allow us to bring thousands of islands and miles to share knowledge together and exchange ideas to build a future of academic publishing for us together. And every breakthrough starts with a single conversation and willingness to learn. Your presence here today shows our commitment to excellence, growth, and innovation in a changing world in higher education. Today is not just about listening, but it is an opportunity to unlock new possibilities, challenges, and find inspirations to derive in real impact. And thank you again for everyone, for your dedication, for your valuable time to be here. Let's make the presentation a powerful step toward our journeys. Terima kasih, and let's begin our presentation. So I was thinking what to write about publication. Then I thought, let's reimagine how the publication journey is, where we have like era of globalization, where everything is changing. So how we can navigate the publication journey and share my experience with my colleagues back there. And thanks to Brother Husni for inviting me. And this is my absolute pleasure to share my experience with colleagues there. So before we start our webinar, I just want to ask one question to see how things work with us. When we hear the word academic publication, what's the first word that comes to everyone's mind? You can chat, you can write in chat, or you can unmute to talk. Just one word, one phrase, or anything you want to share. Anyone, feel free to share. Yeah, there is no right or wrong answer because everyone has a different experience. Oh. Yeah, journal, educational research. Yeah, we have so many things. Anyone, feel free to unmute if you want talk as well. So thank you, and I believe this is like English education, and maybe some of our friends here, or most of our friends, like they knew how to speak in English, right, Mas Husni? Perfect. Thank you. So then we have a lot here in our chat as well. So now I'd like to begin my next slide. The publication journey, sometimes people have different stories about the publication journey. Just give me a second too, because my background is not good. I think just give me a second to check my background to the original one. Yeah, I think starting the publication journey is sometimes challenging, and we learn a lot during this process when we start to like think about publication. Sometimes we have like big mountains like in front of us. We want to climb a mountain, but the most important thing is here to start to climb the mountain. When you climb the mountain, then you find your way. Like research and publication journey is like that. We need to step to the mountain, the publication journey, and then little by little, we go to the top of the mountain or the summit of the mountain. So learning how academic research work, we will discover good ideas about academic research. Then when we start, we want to navigate, we want to see how is the publication journey, where should I publish, what should I publish, how to write. Then writing, like having feedback from peers, from reviewers, from different colleagues. And then sometimes we may face rejection as well, but then we need to revise, collaborate, and then like fulfill the expectation of the journal and then submit it to the journal. Or then when we start to submit, it's like becoming, you want to be the researcher. Then seeing publication is not simply as an output or a result, but it's part of becoming a researcher. So if we want to be a researcher, we need to step to the publication. Then we need to start where, how should I publish, with whom should I publish. This publication journey is intellectual, but also social, emotional, and developmental, because we develop skills to think, to write, to read. We have different layers of like development in our brain. So when we reimagine academic research, we have from one place to another, we need to start from somewhere. Then research is a linear process. We need to go through a process and then continue until we achieve something. And sometimes we need to work alone, because in the research process, you need to read and you need to digest, you need to summarize, and you need to come up with problems. And then publication as the final destination. We say we want to publish this one, because sometimes we want to publish, but then we summarize some ideas, or maybe we read some books, but we don't want to publish. If we don't publish, people don't know about our our experience. Then following established conversations is important. Then to think about publication, research is an iterative learning, because we learn, we think, we write, we read and we write. Then it's a kind of like ups and down learning process. It's a collaboration and scholarly community. We need to collaborate with others, share our knowledge with others, and then scholarly collaborating with the scholarly community, like talking to different people, engaging with researchers, with colleagues, with academics, with students, with participants. And then publication is a dialogue and development. We have dialogue between ourselves, our book, the book we read, the journal articles we read, and our writing as well. So then creating a meaningful conversation between ourselves and the publication. The writing is important. When we write, we need to think, what does it mean? How should I write? And what should I write? So in this like era of globalization, when everything is changing, we also face some challenges, but there are ways how we can like tackle these challenges, these problems. So here I just focus on global and digital and impact focus through some words. Research communities, collaborations, and audiences increasingly like advance across national, international, and sometimes local disciplinary borders. Here, Abdul talks about globalization, how globalization works. It means how different things flow across borders. For example, he talks about the movement of people, how people move from one country to another country, like students, migrants. When someone want to work in another country, or tourists, they want to go to another country to learn something. Then we see nowadays in the era of globalization how news, digital media, or social media, films like journals, articles, books flow across the world, and how we see that technology is changing. We see the spread of like AI or other technologies, how they change our daily life. And then we have also the money, sometimes money or like currency or the flow of money in the globalization or in this era of changing world is also a kind of barrier, but also it's a kind of problem. But sometimes maybe it is an opportunity for us. Then we see everyone has like different opinion, political ideas, or writing ideas, or a lot of like ideas. So this is all called globalization, how everything is changing from money to people, culture, media, technology, and everything. So in this case, we really need to think and reimagine how is publication, how is our life, what is my life in the future. Then we need to develop an academic like identity or develop our own life if we think of being a teacher or being an academic or whatever. So now, as we see AI and technologies changing everywhere, and then we need to think, what should I use? How should I use? And researchers increasingly ask, why does this matter? For whom and what differences should it make? This is a really kind of like opportunity as well and problem as well. But we need to, I think, change it to opportunity rather than a problem. So for the publication journey, at every stage, feedback may send us like sometimes say, no, I don't want to publish. Then that's normal, but we have to start. So when we start to think about publication, it doesn't need to be like you have PhD or you have masters, or if you know English. Sometimes language is a problem, but language can also be an opportunity, because if we speak another language, then we think about the literature, the data, the knowledge in other languages as well. So when we think about publication or about like producing a piece of academic work, we need to find a problem, a meaningful problem. For example, we see a lot of like problems happening around us. We don't know what's the problem, but we need to carefully think and critically analyze the problem. What's the problem and how is it? Then we need to find a research question for that problem. So, for example, sometimes we have big problems and so many research questions. We need to narrow down our problem and our research question. For example, if we see, if I want to change the education system, no, that's a lot. We just need to focus on one aspect. For example, student performance or students' motivation to learn. And we have different like ideas what we need to think about. And then we need to write what we want to write. First, when we develop our research question, then we need to write a story. What's the story you want to write? So first, we need to review the literature, the academic like resources in the field, whether books, articles, magazine, or whatever. We need to read the literature. We need to read the knowledge. How is the knowledge? What is missing there? We need to find the problem. And after we find a problem, we need to go and then collect the data. So then we need to choose our methodology, what methodology we want to choose. And there is no right or wrong methodology. So for every problem, we need to choose a kind of methodology, and our positionality as a researcher is really important here to choose the method. Someone chooses qualitative, someone chooses quantitative, qualitative and quantitative. It's like a broad topic. We need to choose one aspect. For example, we need to choose a case study or autoethnography or a narrative inquiry. There are so many like research designs. We need to choose one based on the problem. Then we need to analyze our findings, like results or the data. We need to make it like a single story, and then introduce it and make it a unified like journal article. Or if we have bigger thing, we can write a book about that. Then we need to submit it to a journal or a publisher or an organization to publish it. So a long time ago, we had like physical publication, but nowadays everything is online with technology, with globalization. You can find research across the world and read it. Then usually when we send it to the journals, journals send it to peer reviewers. So if the story is really publishable, Is it something we need to publish? And if the quality is okay, if the quality is somehow high or like a unique story, they send it to the reviewers. Peer reviewer is sometimes they are academics, they are university lecturers, professors, or whatever. They review our work and then they say, yeah, this can be published in certain circumstances or situations. For example, they say the methodology you choose here is not correct, or maybe you need some more data. Why you do this? Why you did this? Then they give you some suggestions. After that, then we need to change their. We need to consider their comments and revise our um, article or our manuscript or our writing and then submit it to the journal. But sometimes it happens we have like rejection because of the journal. The journals receive a lot of publication, a lot of manuscripts, and they can't publish everything. They find a way to reject your work, and then in that case, maybe some of us we lose motivation, but that's not the end. We have to try again. We have to fight. We have to fight until we publish it. It's not like physical fighting. It's like mental or whatever a fighting is it. So AI is changing the research landscape. If we see where can we use AI? So we can use AI to brainstorm, to generate new ideas, to think, or sometimes challenge our own thinking. So then AI here can be used to improve our thinking, our brainstorming. When we have different ideas, we use AI to improve our thinking, our topic, how then it's another topic we need to discuss. And then we can use AI for language support, structure, research development, and feedback and clarity. Sometimes we can use AI to criticize our own work. What is wrong? How is it? Then AI can support us in that term. So AI can never be replaced through like substitute our scholarly judgment or our thinking, because human thinking is very different from like machine thinking. Machine is so superficial; it just quickly chooses something, but humans need to go deeper and find the problem. Or sometimes methodological decisions. You need to decide what kind of methodology you want to use, but AI can't choose your methodology or can't like it doesn't have that capacity to show us like you need to choose this methodology. It doesn't work. And then critical thinking, as we see Brother Husni research about criticality and critical pedagogies. Critical thinking in the 21st century is really important. And we need to think critically, why, how I'm doing this? And we have a lot of questions, how, when, why, and Brother Husni knows a lot about critical thinking because he specialized in critical pedagogies. And then the interpretation and accountability, we like can think like AI can be like very supportive in interpreting my data or interpreting my analysis. We need to critically think. We need to find the problem. We need to interpret. Here, the position of the researcher is really important. How a researcher finds the problem, make it a unique story, and then present it to the journal. If we are just using AI, then it doesn't work. And maybe if you just submit to the journal, it rejects it's this rejected. They just check it and it's no. Yeah. So in every country we have policies and we have like rules how to use AI. Then we should use AI responsibly to protect confidential data and not to anonymize share the data of the participants or research. Sometimes data is sensitive. We need to follow the policy of universities, institutions, countries, or sometimes the journals as well. And it's also another topic if we want to talk more. So here, I just want to talk about my own experience as a researcher, because I'm just about to complete my PhD, and also I'm teaching here, sharing my experience with students, master students, and bachelor students here in Monash University in Melbourne. So then I just want to talk about who am I. So originally, I come from Afghanistan. It's a country affected by conflict, war, instability. We have like a lot of problems there, mainly because of like political games by different countries. We know a lot about politics. Politics is everywhere. There's a lot of playing games. Then I had my undergraduate at Tahor University, then crossing borders, coming to Malaysia to study Master of Education Leadership and Policy there. And now I'm about to finish my PhD here in Educational Policy as well here in Monash. And how I started my publication journey, I just want to briefly talk about that as well. First, when I was during my undergraduate, I was thinking about publication, but I didn't have the chance to publish. Then when I started my master's, then I meet with my supervisor, with my MA supervisor, and then I was thinking, how can I publish? And then I presented some topics, and then we had our first meeting. In our first meeting, we proposed some of the topics, and he asked me to read the literature. Then I went and read the literature and the journals, books, and so many things. Then I was passionate. I was excited to publish, because I thought maybe while publication I can improve my thinking, my knowledge, and it's a way to develop my skills. Then I had my first draft ready and submitted to my supervisor. So then he provided me a lot of comments and a lot of critical comments. And then I didn't lose my motivation. I didn't stop. Then I started to rewrite, restructure my writing, and revise the manuscript. And hopefully we submitted our first journal article in 2019 when the COVID came. Then during that time, we submitted to a Q3 journal, and with some of my colleagues there in University of Technology, Malaysia. Then it was published. Then I developed my first skill to publish. Then I started to publish my first academic article. It was single author. And then the COVID came. I went back to Afghanistan. Then I started to think about what to write. Then I was thinking about online learning. The universities changed to online. Then I thought, in my country, everything is now challenging. We don't have a stable internet. Even 3G is a dream. Everyone can have a dream. Everyone doesn't have a device to follow online teaching and learning. Then I was thinking what to write. Then I wrote the impact of COVID-19 on students' learning in higher education. So then it was published with a Q1 journal, and it was a long journey. Revision. It was into like 5 or 6 reviewers, and I was about to lose hope, but I didn't give up, and then I started to write. And hopefully in 2021 I could publish it. But yeah, it was one of the articles highly cited by researchers across different countries. So how we can navigate and think about the authorship. If we start to write, where can I start? How do I start? And how the peer review works, and how the publishing challenges here exist, and how we can address those challenges. So first, I just want to talk about how I managed authorship, or how I managed to start my publication. First, initiated collaboration with my peers and members. As I talked like at the beginning, I started with my first supervisor. Then when I developed like some skills, then I started to talk to colleagues how we can publish, what are the problems. I was looking into the problems, research questions, then thinking a lot, and then challenging my own like assumptions based on the realities of the education system. Then when I talked to colleagues, we clarified rules and authorship order. For example, if I give you an example with Brother Husni, someone collects the data, someone writes the this and that, then we clarified everyone's role. If you do more work, then you will be the first author, the second author. And then I'm invited to write with international scholars when I develop like the initial skills. Then how I responded to peer review, because peer review is a long process. I first wrote and submitted. Then when I got the feedback from them, then I took time to understand the peer reviewer comments, because sometimes they give you harsh comments and you don't know what are the comments. You need to think critically for each comment and address all the comments one by one to improve the manuscript. Then I sought guidance from my colleagues, friends. Hopefully we have bigger like a community here, academic community here. I think this is a privilege having Brother Husni there. He's very good in critical thinking because he specializes in critical thinking, and we have all the colleagues there. But unfortunately, in the context where I was working, we didn't have the facility of online, like webinar, online things, because technology was very limited, and instability affected everything. The education system there, libraries were affected, and everything affected there. So challenges I faced along the way while I was publishing. First, I said, nah, I don't want to stop. I have to start somewhere. I need to step to the mountain. And then when I had my first draft, then started to publish little by little. And faced rejection and learned to revise. I think it happens a lot of time when you are like new to the area of research, or you have like limited experience, or sometimes even experienced scholars, they face rejection. So then I found it difficult to match my story with the journal. Sometimes you think my writing is so bad, but then we need to read it again and polish, and then come back again after 1 month and review it, or after a week. And then we need to read it like we read someone else article or academic work, and then we need to think critically what's missing and how was it. Then publishing in open access journals sometimes is challenging, especially if you want to publish in high impact journals. It's a challenge, but there is always a way. There is always a way. If the mountain is high, we can find a way to climb to the mountain. If we just give a simple example. So overcoming the rejection in publishing, I just want to give an example here. First, when I published this article, it was a single author. And then when I submitted to different journals, I got rejection. Then I submitted to Kujin Education, a Q1 journal. And then it also rejected. Then I didn't, they said, you need to submit it somewhere else. what I did is I carefully read the comments, all the journals, and then improve my like manuscript. Again, I submitted to Kujin Education. This time it went out for review. After 2 years, it was published. And then it was cited like more than 40, 30 times. And I got a lot of emails from like scholars, researchers to use my survey design because I was like I did quantitative like survey. Then yeah, it was cited by different like researchers across the world. And then as a researcher, we need to think about our positionality and our voice. So when I came here, then previously I published like mixed, but I didn't publish pure qualitative studies. Then when I started my PhD, then I was thinking about like publishing pure qualitative. Then I published about my experience as a researcher from conflict-affected country to Australia, and it was a book, a book proposed by Routledge. It's like Taylor and Francis. It's a reputable like publisher. Then I was thinking, oh, I want to publish here, but then it was challenging at the beginning how to develop a proposal, give it to or send it to the publisher. If they accept it or not, then they have their own like template or their structure. I needed to follow those structures and then develop the manuscript and sending to the publisher. First time writing qualitative was a bit challenging because they had their particular format. I didn't have free hand to go where, but I needed to stick to their format as well, the structure and voice. Then it was deeply reflective and meaningful piece of work because it was about my academic journey and it was qualitative, as I mentioned. And then when I published, I received a lot of like feedback from peers, from other PhD students, from lecturers, and scholarly community who appreciated my writing. Say, oh, yeah, I found this really interesting. Your story is interesting, and then it was cited by different scholars as well. So to reflect about my experience, what do we need to change? For example, if I just start to publish from my experience, how I do like publication differently now. So I try to avoid publishing in low quality journals because sometimes every publisher, if you publish 2, 3, then the publishers sometimes send you emails. Do you want to publish here? This is like kind of journal, but we have to be careful about the journal we publish. Quality is really important in the quantity. And then a research journal credibility before submission. We need to check how is this journal? How is where is it indexed? Is it with Scopus or Web of Science? Does it have Q1, 2, 3, or 4, or how is that? And then allow more time for revision and feedback. We need to carefully audit the feedback, the comments from the reviewers, the editor as well. So I'm not in a position to give advice, but it's kind of my experience. It's good to start early. Every small project, even like 100 words a day counts. Then it's good to start. It's good to start and never wait for me if I do it again. And if we wait for the perfect time never comes. We need to like create that perfect time by starting, and find a build or find a community. For example, if we see we have like today we have like almost 30, 40 like friends here. We need to just start somewhere because sometimes we are inspired by our friends, by our circle. Talk to a colleague, talk to a supervisor, talk to like a peer, and expect rejection when we want to publish. because these rejections somehow improve the quality of our work, because they see it from different glass, from different lens, but we see it from our lens. This is very different, and it helps us to improve our writing. And write what really matters, because sometimes we want to write, we want to think big, but sometimes we need to narrow down, and it depends. We have to think, why should I publish? How should I publish? And so on. So this is my Google profile and some of my publications there. If anyone interested to learn about like some of my research, you can just find them in the Google. If you just search, you can easily find them. For example, I just want to paste it in the chat. Sorry, just a minute. So then it's like a long process. We have to go through the journey. Yeah, I think we almost two and it's like 11 there, 11 and 2 minutes. And now that sorry for talking too much because I have a lot to share. But if anyone, do you want to share your story, how the story of publication or your experience? If we have some colleagues to share, anyone, feel free to unmute yourself and show your beautiful face. We want to know each other. Then, if you want to share, there is no right or wrong story, but anyone, you are encouraged to share, and this is the space.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Qawi, for your insightful and engaging presentations. I myself have learned a lot about academic research and publication journey from your presentation, and I'm sure that a lot of our participants also have, many questions and reflection to share. Is it okay if we try to read the question first for you? Okay, so I think we are going to go to question and answer session, sir. Right, so here we have some questions. So we read it one by one, I think, if we still have time. So firstly, from Mr. Ali Amran, he says, more readers means publication is more qualified. No readers mean no qualification. Question for Mr. Abdul. Do students in Monash have to pay when they want to publish their research in a journal? That's the first question from him. And second question from him is that which one is more important in conducting research, AI or brain, our brain? Okay, two questions from Mr. Ali Amran. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, brother Asni. Thank you for reading the question. Thank you, and your brother, for the question. Very good questions. So here in Monash, as brother Husni knows, they have some agreements with journals, with publishers. For most of the journals, we do not need to pay, and then they help us to publish. In other case, even if we don't want to have like open access, because in some countries, maybe the access is limited, then everyone can't download that particular article if we want to publish. If we publish open access, that's better. If not, we can also publish, but it's not open access, but the reader needs to find a way to get the publication through institutions or they want to pay for the article. There are different things to discuss. I think the brain is the most important thing here for humans. As in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. it's because of the brain, because of the thinking. What's the difference between humans and like other features or other like creatures? If we see it's human thinking, AI is good to support us, but I think for me, it can't be replaced at the moment with human thinking. Even in the future, even if AI is advanced, developed, nowadays they develop like critical thinking in the AI, but it's not in that stage to think like humans. Human thinking is important, I think, for me.
Okay, thank you very much. That's I totally agree with that. So
Thank you.
we go on to the next questions from Ibu Ratna Saridewi. So if AI models can accelerate peer reviews and literature synthesis, where do we draw the line between efficiency and the loss of human critical nuance or thinking? What are non-negotiable human elements in scholarly evaluation? Second question from her. How can researchers redesign their publication journey so that the scientific knowledge is not only achieved in close academic circles, but effectively translated into social action and public policy?
Sorry, brother Steve, your voice was cut and I'm just reading the question. Could you just quickly say the question again, read for me?
All right, sorry, my internet maybe. So the first question from Ibu Ratna is that if AI model can accelerate peer review and literature review, how we can draw the line between efficiency and critical thinking? What are the non-negotiable human elements in scholarly work?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. I think this is criticality because when we synthesize the literature, so then AI just quickly goes to the paper or the book, then chooses maybe one part of that paper or article, but it doesn't have that wisdom, that like criticality to see, to find a problem, to synthesize it critically and carefully and bring something meaningful for us. Then we need to draw a line between humans thinking and machine thinking. It's really different. We can use that AI and other technologies to help us, but it's not like humans. We need to have a line with that, and how researchers design their publication journey. Um, actually, it depends on different people because everyone is different. But sometimes some people prefer to start from thinking. Some people start to write, and different people they have different styles of writing as well. So just give me a second to read the question here. There. So then, when we see about like policy and about knowledge sharing, we need to think when we think about the problem, something is not working. For example, if Brother Husni is teaching in a class at the university, then he finds a problem, then he starts to investigate about that problem. Then when you develop your story and then give it to the journal, then it's published. Then the policymaker, it goes to the policymakers. Then policymakers get to know, oh, there is a problem. We should use this research, how the problem is, where can we use this research, and how can we use this research to address the problems or the gaps in the policy. Yeah, brothers, any other questions if you want to help me?
Yeah, I think we still have one more question from Mr. Ali Amran. So he says that in this modern era, it seems that students enjoy games a lot. Then when they have assignment from lectures, they trust AI without applying their critical thinking. So what's your comment, sir?
Yeah, this is a very good question as well. We know nowadays the generation is different. People is different from like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. For example, my children, they go to school. When they come back, always they want to play games. And then going back to school, when I ask them, how is your homework? He says, I forgot my homework. Then I encourage them to place. If you want to be a good student, do your homework. And it applies to the university as well. When we use AI, so at the beginning I was telling we should use AI responsibly to help us brainstorm, to help us challenge our own thinking. But if we use AI for, now we have a lot of like AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, or whatever. If we use like those tools to help us to do our assignment, but it's like superficial. It's something that's not with good quality. It helps us to do something, but the lecturer or the academics, they can easily identify this is not a good one. But it depends on the assignments. If it is like an easy assignment, we can use AI, but sometimes people don't know. But in other cases, if it's more complex, like it needs human thinking, we know, oh, this is not something this person wrote or this person developed. Then there are a lot of questions you need to answer for that.
All right. Very
Thank you,
nice.
brother.
Thank you, brother.
Pleasure.
I think we still have a few minutes, brother, before we end our webinar. I think I need to continue reading the question from the participant, and I'd like to invite participant also, if they still have some question, they may raise their hands, talk directly to the speaker, or just type the question to the chat. Okay, so rejection. Sometimes some writers or publishers do not provide deep explanation or further explanation why they reject your articles. So what should we do? What do you think about it? So
Yeah, because sometimes maybe the reviewer or the editor of that journal, when we submit, they are maybe not in a good mood if we are not like lucky. So then they just read and then they want to reject. One reason. Another reason is the quality of the journal. Some journals, like they need like higher quality academic work when we submit to them. Then when they just go quickly, they maybe take 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes to read each article and decide to send it to like reviewer or reject. If they read it like the introduction or maybe a few lines of the introduction, quickly jumping to the discussion and conclusion, the abstract and the title, if they think, oh, this is good work, then they spend maybe another 2, 3 minutes and then they send it to peer review. And each journal is different because some of the journals, they have like acceptance rate is like 5%. They need to reject like 9 to 5. Even they send it to peer review. If it's a high quality journal, then maybe one reviewer says something, another reviewer is saying another thing. This is all positive with some changes, but the editor decides to reject because of that, the acceptance rate. In other case, maybe the writing is not that much suitable for the journal. If the journal publishes qualitative, our research is quantitative, or if it's another methodology, it doesn't work with them, they will reject. Well, sometimes it's not like matching the aim and the purpose of the journal. For example, the journal works on education. We like our article is about something else, about society, about like business economics. It should align with the scope of the journal as well, the aim of the journal. What's the aim? So there are a lot of reasons. Yeah,
yeah,
I
there
just
are a lot of
mentioned.
reasons why sometimes our journals, our article or manuscript is rejected by
Yeah.
particular journals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, Mr. Amran says, thank you very much for Mr. Abdul Qawi for your great presentation. So we love it, of course.
Oh, thank you so much.
Question
Muhammadiyah.
from our lecturer, Ibu Rita Harisma. According to you, sir, how student critical thinking can develop sharply if it's always oriented to AI? I think this has been addressed by the speaker. We continue to next question. I would like to ask Mr. Qawi, are there any journals indexed by Scopus in your country? It means like in Afghanistan or in Australia. So can you recommend a reputable journal house index in your country?
So yeah, in my country, because back in Afghanistan, I think higher education was negatively affected by war and instabilities. There are some journals, but I particularly don't know. But there are some. They are not still indexed. Maybe in this Scopus, especially in education, there are some. They have collaboration with other countries and some scholars as well. And in Australia, there are many like highly impact journals, and it depends on the fields as well. And each of them they have their own scope and aim. And also in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in these countries, we have many journals as well. And it depends on the journal. Sometimes it's expensive. Some of them are like responsive. When you submit, they quickly make the decision. They say yes or no to our like article. Sometimes it takes like years for them to respond to our like publication. In terms of critical thinking, our sister here asked, I think yeah, I think the best thing is to read to improve our thinking, because everything comes from knowledge, and knowledge is power. If we want to improve our thinking, first we need to read. What we read, it depends. And for me, like more like philosophical reading. For example, Quran Karim is the best book of philosophy, and it brings our thinking so deep. If we recite a verse, then we need to think, how is it? Then we have a lot of researchers and a lot of like philosophers. Socrates, one of the ancient Greek philosophers, he was asking everyone, he was challenging everyone at the beginning, and he was asking question, why you do this, why you do that, and if you or the if the answer is yes or no, or for one reason, then was following another question, another question. He was doing it because he wanted to improve the wisdom of the people by asking questions, and he was challenging the assumptions and the realities of the people. And everyone was saying, oh, Socrates knows everything. Socrates knows everything. We need to ask from Socrates. And then he said, people don't know that I knew nothing. And he was like thinking critically. Then there are different scholars as well. For example, for me, Imam Ghazali is one of like the philosophers, and there are different Western, Eastern, Islamic, non-Islamic scholars. We need to think critically, and we need to read. And then when we read, we need to reflect the meaning once or two times, and present to ourselves. And when we read, we need to summarize it. And then we need to also think ourselves, and we need to teach our brain to remember that information. So when we have more knowledge, we definitely can speak better, because we have something to come out of our brain, our mind. Then it improves our criticality thinking. Brother Hisni knows a lot about. He's very good in critical thinking as well. It's a privilege to have brothers in there as well.
All right. So, brother, I'd like to invite any participant who want to raise question again. Is there any participant who want to talk directly to the speaker? Please open your mic or maybe your video. Brother, actually, I have a practical question, but it's I think quite easy question, but I think it is relevant to the early researchers, right? So when and how can early researchers use AI in terms of writing and using AI for their language editing? Because some journals still use, uh, plagiarism check to check whether the words or the sentence are produced by AI. And second question related to how these, early researchers can emotionally accept or navigate the rejection process.
Yeah.
Maybe last
So,
question.
yeah, good question, actually. So I think AI is also good, as I mentioned a bit earlier, but sometimes, cultural thing is also important because if you ask AI to do something, it does, but we need to write our story. For example, everyone's story here, or I mean, everyone experience is different. But sometimes AI is so abstract, so superficial, so it doesn't go deep into the language as well. But when the reviewer reads like the manuscript, they understand. Oh, the English is not good. Sometimes they ask you to ask a native speaker to revise the language aspect. But I think language nowadays is not a problem. If you can find everyone to help with the language, then if we see, for example, if we have one scholar or two, three in a university, they can help us somehow with the language to improve the language of the journal, the manuscript. But we can use AI in terms of um, plagiarism as well, because some journals they check plagiarism even if we intentionally don't want to plagiarize. Then even if we write something but that word has already been in the internet, it shows plagiarism. So we need to paraphrase, we need to read again, and then we need to summarize it and write it in a simple way so that avoids the plagiarism. So plagiarism is also different for different journals. Some of them they accept like some smaller amount or like percentage of plagiarism, but some of them they are critical. And nowadays even there are some softwares that show if something is from AI, or if we write something, then give it to AI. It's like a complex process. But we can use AI to help us in ways I mentioned earlier, but not in a deeper level.
All right. So I think due to our limited time, this is the end of the question and answer session. So if any participant want to further ask question to the speaker today, you may approach him, approach Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori personally or privately. So thank you very much for your insightful answer, brother. So I think
My pleasure. Sorry, brother. There is
yeah.
also one question about if they want to be invited as a guest speaker.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether here in Australia or in back in my country. So it depends. If it's online, it's easier. But it depends what we want to talk about and how we want to talk about. And Brother Husni also knows about that one as well.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, speaker, Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori, before we proceed to the closing remarks, we'd like to invite again the representative of the Faculty of Teacher Training Education to deliver the closing remarks and officially close today's international webinar. Oke, sebelum kita akhiri kegiatan webinar kita hari ini, terima kasih sekali lagi kepada Bapak Abdul Qawi Noori, dan kami hendak mengundang representasi atau perwakilan dari Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan untuk menyampaikan pernyataan akhir dan secara resmi menutup kegiatan webinar kita pada pagi hari ini. We invite the Dean of the Faculty, Ibu Dr. Randa Hajah Syamsuyurnita, M.Pd. Time is yours. I assume that the Dean is having things to do outside. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to see who can represent the faculty to deliver the closing remarks here. Unfortunately, the head of the English study program also is departing to Vietnam, so he's not in the Zoom right now anymore. So I think we'll coming to the closing remark from me as a representative, I think, of the faculty. Let me check again if there is the representative of, yeah, Mr. Qawi, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu dosen, and our students, students from different university. Before we close we end our international webinar today, I would like to remind all the participants to complete the attendance form that we have already shared in the chatting box. So the attendance form is very important for our participation record, and of course, certificate issues. Please make sure that you complete the form before leaving the Zoom meeting. Thank you again for your valuable participation. We hope today's discussion inspires us to conduct meaningful research, share knowledge, and contribute to the global academic community. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Abdul Qawi Noori, for your insightful presentation and contribution to our academic community today. Honestly, we'd like to inform you that the participants are coming from different institutions. We have 17 Indonesian university students and lecturers coming with into our webinar today. So they already got a lot, insightful insight from you, insightful insight. I can say like great presentation, and we expect the speaker can share the slides to me, and then I will share your slide later to all the participants who registered into our webinar today. Okay, last thing, is there something that you want to say as a closing statement from Mr. Abdul Qawi?
No, thank you, brother. Thank you to everyone, to the head of department, to the dean of the faculty, and to all the academics, to yourself as well. Thank you for the kind invitation, to all the participants for giving their time and patience in listening to our presentation, and wish you all the best, and have a lovely day. That's all from me. We can conclude our talk today.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all the participants who joined us today. We look forward to seeing you again in the future academic program like this webinar. Thank you again. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye, and see you at our next program.
Waalaikumsalam. Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Izin live ya, Mr. Rusni.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. See you again.
See you again.